Fios finding movies is a snap. You can check traffic, weather, and more on screen. Even stream music and photos from your computer to your TV. So get Fios TV, internet, and phone, and get $150 back. Don't wait. Call 1-877-729-FIOS. This is Fios. This is big.
Welcome to World News. Tonight, fire fears. Intense winds fuel that California wildfire, driving it straight towards Santa Barbara. Labor losses. The latest jobs report shows pain and promise. We look at who is hiring. Dealing drugs. Teens turning social networking sites into shopping malls for illegal drugs. Outward Bound. The crew of 7 taking a high-stakes historic mission to space. They are our Persons of the Week. And tonight, a first look at that Air Force One photo that caused 1 million New Yorkers to panic.
From ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. The line of fire is 5 miles long. It is bearing down on Santa Barbara, California. Not just the outlying areas, but even the populous city center. The wildfire is fierce. It is pushed periodically by fierce shifting winds. It is burning out of control, and all Santa Barbara residents can do right now is get out of the way. 3,500 acres have burned. 30,000 people have been evacuated. For the latest, Brian Rooney is in Santa Barbara again tonight. Brian?
Charlie, already today we've had a variety of conditions. We've had a little bit of uphill wind, a little bit of downhill wind, and now it's a little bit like last night before it turned into a difficult night. This city continued to lose houses through the night. Fire randomly took some, leaving others intact. At least 75 have burned, but there's no accurate count. As the sun rose, this house was fully engulfed, and there was nothing firefighters could do about it.
Literally last night, all hell broke loose. We saw the fire spread laterally across the top of the city, and the fire front extend to almost 5 miles now.
The fires are burning up in mountains above the city of Santa Barbara, but they've been so unpredictable, the mandatory evacuation area extends in parts to within 4 blocks of State Street. That is the heart of downtown. The evacuation area expanded in the middle of the night, filling emergency shelters.
When they come around, I mean, your heart starts pumping. I mean, you know, you do get anxious. You're
thinking
prepared.
this could really happen.
Yeah.
What'd you get out of the house?
Clothes, computers, with, you know, just the
1956 Les Paul.
We didn't really.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You brought your guitar? As always, some people have stayed to save their own homes. This man had a professional fire hose, but no training to use it.
I don't think so this is the right way to hold it, but we are doing the job.
They've got 2,500 firefighters here, bringing in a colorful array of engine companies from big cities and little towns all over the state. Today, a DC-10 air tanker joined the fight. That's 12,000 gallons of fire retardant. In the brush and around empty homes, firefighters are waging small battles everywhere.
We're going to win.
Despite all their best efforts, though, it is the wind and the weather that is the biggest determining factor, Charlie. It's wind and weather.
All right, Brian Rooney in Santa Barbara, California tonight. And as Brian mentioned, these fire problems can change momentarily. The hot, dry weather, that's constant. The winds are not. They can be calm during the day and then whip up as suddenly as darkness falls. It's a phenomenon known as sundowner winds. ABC's Sam Champion is also at the fire scene.
Along the fire lines, firefighters are doing everything they can to gain control. But for the past 2 nights, sundowner winds have put Mother Nature in charge. Santa Barbara sits on the Pacific with the Santa Ynez Mountains right behind it. The geography and the weather patterns are what create these down mountain winds as heated valley air rushes to the cooler coast right around sundown. Those hot, dry winds blow over the mountains and down into the canyons, fanning the flames.
If there's enough wind, that fire will jump even to these coastal communities, kind of taking all the cool, damp air along the coast and moving it right out of the way. Santa Barbara gets practically perfect weather year-round, but they're also getting used to these massive wildfires. This is the second one in 2 years.
Santa Barbara's average temperature is 71 degrees. Over the past few days, the city has seen the mercury climb to over 100 degrees. And in neighboring Montecito, wind gusts were measured at near hurricane strength, 65 miles an hour, all during the sundowner winds.
And Sam is joining us now from Santa Barbara. And Sam, I'm wondering, in coming days, are firefighters stuck with these patterns, these down mountain winds coming at sundown each night?
Well, Charlie, we have at least one more. We're up in the top of the mountains now, and the wind has picked up just a little bit here. But the big fear is one more night of these down mountain sundowner winds. And then the weather pattern will change slightly to where Saturday into Sunday, the winds will shift probably more from an onshore direction.
And what will be the effect of that? Does that, in effect, drive the flames away from Santa Barbara instead of toward the city?
Charlie, that's a really good point. It does drive him kind of back away from Santa Barbara, back up into these hills that have been burned once. But it doesn't mean the fire's back in control. These flames are still raging in a lot of areas, and the winds will fan the flames no matter what direction they come from.
All right, Sam Champion out in Santa Barbara. Thanks very much. Next, we're going to turn to today's unemployment rate and more dramatic job losses. There was a net loss of another 539,000 jobs in April. The unemployment rate is now up to 8.9%. But that number of lost jobs is actually a marked improvement over recent months. Is the improvement significant? Here's David Muir.
Even with the unemployment rate now at its highest level in a generation, economists say there is a glimmer of hope in today's numbers.
Employers aren't laying off people as rapidly as they were, and as they do that, it means we're sort of approaching a bottom, and now we're actually no longer free-falling.
In other words, while the numbers are still staggering, the job losses have begun to slow down. More than 700,000 jobs vanished in January, more than 600,000 in February and March, and now more than 500,000 last month. Today, the president said the numbers, while encouraging, are still a sobering toll.
It underscores the point that we're still in the midst of a recession that was years in the making and will be months or even years in the unmaking. And we should expect further job losses in the months to come.
But across many sectors, the scope of those losses could finally be shrinking. Construction axed 135,000 jobs in March, down to 110,000 in April. Factories, 167,000 jobs in March, 147,000 in April. And in retail, 64,000 jobs vanished in March, 47,000 last month.
We're nearing the bottom. The bad news is that we're not there yet. It's still bad for anyone on Main Street looking for a job. The number of people in line ahead of you is still getting longer.
Which is exactly what we found today at job centers on both coasts. In Brooklyn, New York, Cecilia Fedden, who lost her advertising job last August, is still looking. The hardest part, just getting an interview.
How many interviews, how many resumes have you sent out?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yes, I would say, yes.
While in Los Angeles, this divorced mother was getting job counseling. It has not turned around for her.
When you apply for a job, it seems like everybody in the world is applying.
And unfortunately, that's not going to change anytime soon, because the economists I spoke with today said that even though the pace of the job losses is beginning to slow down, the unemployment rate is still inching up. And they believe that will continue through at least the rest of this year. Charlie, some say even well into next year.
David Muir, thanks very much. And when you hear the figure, 539,000 jobs lost, it obscures the fact that millions of people were hired into new jobs last month. It's just that 539,000 more lost their jobs. For example, in February, 4.3 million Americans got new jobs. 4.3 million hired in a single month. Dan Harris tonight looks at where the new jobs are.
They've recently hired 72 people at Culver's Hamburger and Frozen Custard Restaurant in Surprise, Arizona. Eddie Ham, who lost his construction job, is the new fry guy.
I'm just happy that I found a job and I'm not staying at home.
IBM is looking for 700 people in Dubuque, Iowa. Walmart expects to add 50,000 people this year. Today's job report shows growth in a whole range of industries, from healthcare, the federal government, where they're hiring thousands of census takers, to food manufacturing.
I think 9 out of 10 of us, we look at 600,000 jobs lost and we think, oh, well, that's it.
It doesn't tell the whole story. I mean, over that same month, many people have gotten new jobs and started new great careers. And I think it's very important, especially if you're looking for a job, not to get depressed in this environment.
In fact, some employers have run into a major obstacle in hiring. At the Cleveland Clinic, where they have 300 openings right now, they're having trouble getting out-of-towners to relocate.
Folks have trouble selling their homes, and so it gets complicated when you have to get people to move.
But the major issue for both employers and potential employees these days is the sheer volume of applicants. There are now 4.5 out-of-work Americans for every open job.
Are you flooded with applications?
Yeah, absolutely.
At the Fairway supermarket chain in the New York City area, they are becoming very selective.
We're really almost brain typing for the perfect Fairway employee. You have to have a certain drive, a certain work ethic, and really a certain persona that fits within our company.
Experts say job seekers in the current environment have to keep an open mind and keep at it, but there are jobs out there, millions of them. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.
The White House announced that President Obama is going to visit Egypt on June 4th to deliver a long-promised speech on U.S. relations with the Muslim world. The president will fly on to Germany to visit Buchenwald, the Nazi concentration camp. And then on June 6th, he'll be in Normandy, France, for the 65th anniversary of D-Day. And still ahead on World News, a first look at the photo that scared New Yorkers and angered the president. And today it cost a White House aide his job. Teenagers peddling drugs on social networking sites and the concerned mother who did something about it. Talk about the right stuff. The astronauts embarking on a dangerous mission. They are our persons of the week.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Applebee's.
Applebee's introduces Real Burgers. A real burger takes both hands. A real burger requires lots of napkins and sometimes a sleeve. A real burger is real at first bite. Introducing Real Burgers, only at Applebee's. Made fresh, slammed with flavor, and stacked high with the stuff you love most. Real fresh, real deal, real burgers. Get Real Burgers only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
I've had asthma forever.
I've had asthma for as long as I can remember.
10 years. I used to wonder why my medicine wouldn't help prevent my symptoms from coming back.
I just figured it couldn't get any better.
And then I found out something I didn't know. I found out there are two main causes of asthma symptoms. Airway constriction you feel, and inflammation you may not. Most medicines don't treat both. So, my doctor prescribed Advair. Advair treats both main causes to help prevent symptoms in the first place.
Advair contains salmeterol. Salmeterol may increase the chance of asthma-related death, so Advair is not for asthma that's well controlled on another controller medicine. Advair will not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Talk to your doctor about the risks and benefits of Advair. If you take Advair, see your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
If you're still having symptoms, ask your doctor how to help prevent them with Advair.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at Advair.com.
Advair. Now you know.
Jenna asks, have you been here? Like that's ever going to happen. Make sure you're protected with Tena Serenity Splatter Weakness Products. Tena, real protection for real life.
This Mother's Day, celebrate all the moms you know with 30 gifts under $30 from our Every Mom Counts collection.
For all the moms that count in your life.
Call or click 1-800-Flowers.com today.
A White House aide resigned today after he was the one who authorized the use of the president's jet, Air Force One, for a flyover of the Statue of Liberty. The sight of that 747 flying low over the area near Ground Zero, trailed by fighter jets, evoked memories of 9/11 for New Yorkers, and the president was said to be infuriated. Here's Jake Tapper at the White House.
People in New York City thought it was another terrorist attack.
It said like a plane was trying to go into one of the buildings. A plane?
Just like, you know what, let me just get the hell out of here. Who's the genius behind that? Because that didn't make any sense.
But it was nothing more than a photo op for this and other pictures of Air Force One with the Statue of Liberty. The White House investigation into the Air Force One flyover points the finger of blame at Military Office Director Louis Caldera. The report states that 3 times Caldera's deputy, George Mulligan, says he suggested that his boss tell senior officials in the White House about the flyover. Caldera never did. Quote, when asked why he failed to do so, the report states, Caldera did not offer a coherent explanation. He suggested that it may have been an oversight. On the Friday before the flyover, Mulligan sent an email to Caldera with the final details of the flight. Caldera says he did not read that email until after the flyover occurred. A mission the Secretary of Defense estimates officially cost roughly $330,000 taxpayer dollars and may have violated military protocols.
The latest Obama administration move has been staging costly glamour shots of Air Force One.
The report said Caldera claimed he had no idea the flight would be at only 1,000 feet. And the report recommends an examination into the structure and communications abilities of the White House military office.
The president instructed the staff to ensure that it doesn't happen again, and those are the steps that we're taking.
The White House has had a few cabinet nominees withdraw their names from consideration, but this is the first official resignation under fire. As for President Obama, a source close to him says he still does not understand how anyone could have thought this was a good idea. Charlie?
Jake Tapper reporting tonight from the White House. And one more note about the Statue of Liberty. The Obama administration has decided to fully reopen the landmark. The statue was closed after the 9/11 attacks because of security concerns. The base, pedestal, and lower observation deck later reopened. Now, starting July 4th, visitors will also be allowed into the statue's crown. Still ahead, internet drug rings operating on the social networking sites that are very popular with teens.
I'm Lindy. And I'm Joni. We've been best friends since we were 2. We've always been alike.
We even both have osteoporosis, but we're active, especially when we vacation. So when I heard about Reclass, the only once-a-year IV osteoporosis treatment, I called Joni.
My doctor said Reclass helps re-strengthen our bones to help make them resistant to fracture for 12 whole months.
And Reclass is approved to help protect from fracture in more places. Hips, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium, kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain, or if you have dental problems, as rarely jaw problems have been reported. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, and headache.
Nothing strengthens you like an old friendship.
But when it comes to our bones, we both look to Reclast.
You've got to ask your doctor.
Once a year Reclass, year-long protection for on-the-go women.
Can't stop weeding? Then apply Preen for gardens. In just one application, Preen prevents weeds for 3 months. Stop weeds with Preen. Preen works, so you don't have to.
I have high blood pressure, and I was surprised to learn that it may have led to my erectile dysfunction. That's when my doctor told me about Levitra.
Certain medical conditions, including high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol, can decrease blood flow, which may lead to ED.
That was news to me. And my doctor told me Levitra could help.
Levitra works by increasing blood flow to help treat ED.
Levitra works for me. Maybe it can work for you.
Ask your doctor if you are healthy enough for sexual activity. If you have heart problems, are on alpha blocker therapy, or have uncontrolled high blood pressure, talk to your doctor before taking Levitra. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, and stuffy or runny nose. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience an erection lasting longer than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss of vision or hearing, stop taking Levitra and call your doctor right away. Ask your doctor if Levitra is right for you.
Are you and your gray hair facing an identity crisis?
My hair says experience. My hair says energy.
Touch of Gray. The best of both combs away a little gray, never too much, just right.
Now I look like I know what I'm doing and can still do it.
Touch of Gray.
The chase is on.
Open the doors, police!
To target and hunt down career criminals hiding in the suburbs.
Police!
Monday, ride along. Unprecedented access on the crackdown that's paying off big. Only on World News with Charles Gibson.
An update to last night's story about the shooting death of a student at Wesleyan University in Connecticut. The suspect, 29-year-old Stephen Morgan, has surrendered to police. He allegedly had a grudge against the victim. According to the arrest warrant, he wrote in a journal, "Kill Joanna, she must die. And I think it okay to kill Jews and go on a killing spree." We're going to turn next to a new phenomenon involving young people and the internet. Those with teenagers at home know about the popularity of social networking sites that allow friends to stay in touch with one another. But as police and now parents are discovering, the sites can also be used for illegal purposes. Here's ABC's Laura Marquez.
Linda Carnahan began checking out her son's internet activity after his behavior became increasingly erratic.
In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, something's not right here, but I want to trust you. And as it got progressively worse, it was like I had to cross that line.
Logging onto her son's MySpace account, Carnahan found links to pages full of phrases such as white Macintosh fizzles, purple pokeballs, hit me up if need any.
How did you find out what purple pokeball
I
is?
Googled it, and it came up efficacy.
Carnahan tipped off police, who began an undercover operation. How much of this did you buy?
Over 200 tablets in about 3 or 4 or 5 days.
Lieutenant Steve Bailey says the MySpace page led to the arrest of 10 dealers in Phoenix, selling to more than 500 high school and college students. The contacts were made online. The deal occurred the old-fashioned way, face-to-face.
We had no idea how widespread it was, but...
And if it's going on here, it must be going on in other parts of the country?
Absolutely, without question.
Police departments across the country now have officers assigned whose primary job is to troll social networking sites. They hunt for signs of drug dealing and other criminal activity.
If you're concerned about MySpace, that's one of the safer social networking sites.
But with so many teens using these sites, it's extremely difficult for police to keep up.
With millions and millions of pages out there, it's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Police say the best defense is a parent.
Would you do it again?
You bet. You bet. He picked the wrong kid to sell drugs to.
Carnahan warns, keep tabs on what your child is doing in the real world and the virtual one. Laura Marquez, ABC News, Phoenix.
There is a new entry rapidly climbing the list of America's most popular baby names. Barack, as in, well, you know, as in. The name jumped more than 10,000 places on the list of popular names. That's a record to number 2,409 on the list of most popular boys' names. The most popular, Jacob for boys. Emma has replaced Emily for girls. And still ahead, the astronauts embarking on a risky rescue mission. There are persons of the week.
I thought I knew all about high cholesterol.
But then my doctor told me something I didn't know.
While I was building my life, my high cholesterol was contributing to plaque buildup in my arteries.
That's why my doctor prescribed Crestor.
People everywhere are learning that plaque buildup is a real reason to lower high cholesterol, and that Crestor can help. Along with diet, Crestor does more than lower bad cholesterol. It raises good. Crestor is also proven to slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Crestor isn't for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests will check for liver problems. You should tell your doctor about other medicines you're taking, or if you have muscle pain or weakness, that could be a sign of serious side effects. Like others, while you've been building your life, plaque may have been building in your arteries. Find out more at Crestor.com. Then ask your doctor if it's time for Crestor. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
This is the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, you can apply year-round, talk with personal health insurance advisors, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, call for this free information kit and Medicare guide. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP. These plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars. Want your choice of doctors or hospitals, virtually no claim forms, and no referrals needed to see a specialist? Call for your free kit. Yep, this is one great card.
To stay in tune with life after 50, I switched to a complete multivitamin with more. Only one a day Women's 50+ Advantage has ginkgo for memory and concentration, plus support for bone and breast health. Just what I need. One a day Women's.
We'll be experiencing turbulence. Please secure your belongings.
Glad Press and Seal Wrap. Just pull, place, and press. It gives you a spill-proof seal and makes instant bags to help keep food fresh. To seal almost anything, Glad Press and Seal Wrap. Get Glad.
A high-paying government job with benefits just to manage a Facebook and Twitter account. K2 wants to know, is this really essential during a budget crisis?
And what we've just learned from this video about how a 7-year-old could have been used in a robbery. It's all just minutes away.
Sunday, two big This Week exclusives. The President's National Security Advisor in his first Sunday interview, and Senator John McCain on the future of his party. Both face-to-face with George, only on This Week Sunday.
Finally tonight, our Persons of the Week. They are 6 men, 1 woman, tasked with a delicate and dangerous mission. This crew of 7 arrived at the Kennedy Space Center late today, ready for a Monday shuttle launch, taking them on a risky journey to the Hubble telescope, where they will try to repair mankind's best instrument yet for gazing into the universe.
Well, I think that we as humans have a real curiosity about where we came from and how it all started. And I think that Hubble is an instrument that helps us answer those kinds of questions.
Atlantis will carry an eclectic crew, from Commander Scott Altman, a decorated Navy pilot who stunt doubled for Tom Cruise in Top Gun, to geologist Drew Feustel, a rock and roller who got hooked on space watching the Jetsons, to New Yorker Mike Massimino, so devoted to the New York Mets, he's taking Shea Stadium's old home plate into space.
And they can push off like this and come up.
It has been a long wait, many delays for this mission, and it's been 7 years since a shuttle visited Hubble.
With the delays we've had, our eyesight is suffering big enough so we can see it.
I had perfect eyesight.
Yeah, just right.
And all dark hair.
Start already, let's go.
It's a funny feeling. It's you develop kind of like your own family as a crew working together this long.
All right, spread out.
A family of 6 guys and 1 gal, Megan MacArthur.
Now he's probably 20.
On a camping trip with your 6 older brothers, trapped in a tiny tent for 10 days.
Really? Yeah.
You might.
I don't think anybody feels sorry for us.
Well, you promised me there was no snoring in space.
I don't think there is. I don't know because I'm asleep.
You've been
I don't
lied
think
to.
Not that I...
They are mindful of the risk.
Every space flight is risky. In this case, it's a little bit different because we're not going to the space station. Most space shuttle missions go to the space station. With us, there's no place to stay on the telescope. So we would be stuck in the shuttle until someone can come rescue us. We don't have that much time. We don't have the luxury of hanging around.
Only 13 days hanging around time. The shuttle Endeavour will be standing by for a rescue if needed.
You have to get the rescue orbiter then out there?
We'd launch.
And then the rescue comes out.
And they would launch as quick as they could. And that turns out to be 13 days after we go up. In some scenarios, we run out of cryo in the 16-day window. So launch...
Cryo.
The
cryogenic oxygen.
Oh, of course, that's what I meant, of course, yes.
But it'll all be worth it when they get to see the pictures the telescope takes.
People ask me what my favorite Hubble image is, and mine is the Cone Nebula. It's a birthplace for stars. All these stars are shooting out the top. It's a star nursery.
The most wondrous view, they say, though, is of home.
What a privilege it is, because very few people get to see the Earth from that vantage point, and it's beyond words. You know, you can't describe how beautiful it is. You know, the closest I've come is to say it. You know, it's like looking into heaven. It's just perfection.
And so we choose astronauts Altman, Johnson, Massimino, Good, MacArthur, Feustel, and Grunsfeld. We wish for them a Monday launch as scheduled, and then Godspeed, safe travels, and a successful mission. That is World News for this Friday. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a great weekend. The stakes are very high right now. What's truly important to people is how does this story affect me?
ABC's World News with Charles Gibson, cutting through the noise.
And that makes bringing people the news all the more important.
Should companies be able to fire women who get pregnant? Should tigers be farmed to sell their coats? Should we cut Medicare for the elderly? There are some things you can't even talk about. But tonight, that's not stopping John Stossel. Your head's in the sand on a special 2020.
You can tweet or Facebook your way into a full-time job. I'm on your side investigator Anna Song. The position Multnomah County is offering and the surprising salary it pays.
A mother and her children held hostage by a neighbor who was after drugs.
I was worried for my life the moment he came in.
She tells K2 what happened in her home before deputies shot and killed the man. New changes to airport security could mean more hassles for you. What you need to know before you hop on your next flight.
Live at 6, this is K2 News on your side.
It's like the new newsroom. You know, social media is the new newsroom.
It's why Multnomah County has a new job opening for someone who's an expert at Facebook and Twitter. Good evening. Here's